the things I really love about Nameless's character is that he's never become serious.
Mm.
I mean, Nameless, Nameless is could be a very serious character. He's death after all. He's the Grim Reaper, but he's not grim at all. Doing
No,
a lot of things.
I mentioned before in his thing that he reminded me a lot of the Terry Pratchett death and the fact that he was so unserious.
But even the Cherry Pratchett death has his serious moments, or his
That is true.
and we've run out of things to say again.
Oh, well, yeah, with my characters, like I was saying, I start with an idea that is almost always blatantly stolen from something else, and then, I mean, Darklord Bright's just a Dark Lord. He isn't anything special, you know, but he got turned into something fairly serious in DLE, and that surprised me that I managed to create a character that apparently was worth a award from Q. Um, the entire character's cast was apparently, but I don't know. I don't think my characters are that good. I'm fairly harsh on myself when it comes to comics. And the only thing I'm not harsh on is how quick I can produce them when I actually care. Because I mean, I have something against the idea that it takes ages to get one of these out. Like, I think sometimes if they're big, it might take a day or maybe two to bring out something that's important and big, you know, and you really want to put a lot of work into it. But I know maybe it's just me, but I generally don't take more than maybe an hour or two, depending on the writing or the how tedious the actual angles and things are. Um, but it just seems like taking a long time is just excessive, you know?
I suppose. For me, I know that when I'm doing my comics, it's not so much the actual drawing, but or the writing even. It's the placement of things. Like how many panels do I want in here, and how do I want to arrange the panels, or how do I want to arrange the characters within each panel, so that there's enough room to put a text bubble. How much text do I want in that bubble? Do I have to like cut things out so that there's enough room for me to actually show what the characters are doing without having a text bubble take up the entire space? And just all that little minutia is what takes up my time.
Yeah,
So,
like the spacing and the working out where everybody is the hard part for you, whereas for some people it's the writing, for some people it's the actual drawing itself. And I can understand it taking a long time if you're actually not comfortable with the drawing itself, because that, to me, that takes most of the time. Because, like I said, you have to do a lot of organizing there, and I can understand that taking a long time. But for the most part, I think like a lot of people seem to ABR as a whole seems to be a very lazy group. I mean, it's like my friends group, really. My real friends, like my real life guys, they're all. I thought I was lazy for the longest time, but I mean, I've met so many people who are
well,
more. It's like,
as far as intro should not have taken an entire week to do.
mm.
To be honest, if I just put the effort into it in the
It's just
week,
that I
then
mean,
I probably would have done it.
to other people's defense, I will say though that sometimes you just don't have the time to sit down and do that for an hour, and you'd rather be doing other things. I mean, I get that. I get that a lot. There's a lot of things that I'm putting off because I'd rather be doing other things. I feel bad. I've got to stop hijacking your stuff. We've been going for a little bit more than half an hour, but that's including the stuff we did beforehand, so we've still got some time.
Okay. Any other questions you'd like to ask me?
Uh, well, I think like with what you were saying before with things, it seemed like ABR had been dying a bit, and that this the stifling sort of plot might have been the cause for that. But I mean, I think with that you were saying before, what do you think ABR really needs to kick up again?
I'm really not quite sure. If I knew, I'd go for it. But we've tried new plots, and FI has sort of begun already, and we've tried going back to random kills a few times, but everything that we've tried has died down at some point. At the same time, I don't want to be too much of a doomsday prophesizer. I will point out that people have been saying that ABR is going to die since Thread 1, actually. I remember halfway through Thread 1, D.wmv mentioned that how things were getting boring already.
And Thread 1, wow.
Yes. So, I mean, I know there have been times when I've really, really become put off by ABR. Several times during FFF. Um, but I've always come back. And I think ABR will be limping its way along for a bit.
Like, you think this will be a low period, but it'll kick itself back up again. You know, it'll find out what we're missing.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, you've mentioned this to me in a conversation before. I do think we're missing the new blood. I think that's what we need. Right now, it's just the population stagnating a bit, and you know, a lot of people are just we know each other so well that there isn't anything new that's really going on that's good.
Yes. I would love to see more people coming into ABR, new people, or even just people who left ABR come back and make comics. I would love to see Three Shades or D.wmv or Mecha Fox or Yarrow come back and make comics, even the randomizer. I've said my distaste for him before, but I would love to see him come back if he made comics again.
I think that's the general thing is that there was a lot of issue with like people being around but not really making any comics recently. Like people are saying that we're all here, so why aren't we making anything? That sort of idea, you know.
I think that's the problem with that. ADR has become much more about the community and the discussion rather than the parts.
We've not been paying attention to the art thread as much as the discussion thread.
Absolutely. I remember whenever someone put up a new comic, or well, we could do it every single time everyone saw up a new comic, but every other comic we'd be commenting on it, even if it was just a pat on the back or pointing out that there's a grammatical error or some art error. They would be commenting, and it doesn't seem like there is that anymore.
It doesn't really seem like we care much about the comics anymore. We've become a bit of a chat thread, you know.
Absolutely. That's why I mean the IRC channel is there to like be sort of a event to let out all the random banter that we have. But discussion thread has ceased to become a thread for discussing ABR itself.
And it is the ABR discussion thread, as it says in the title, I can see right there.